Hey guys, so in this training, I'm going to go over how I grew my arms by 2 inches under 2 years. This is something that I struggled with forever. So if you've been working out for a while, maybe you're like me, you're a taller guy, you always had kind of like the scrawnier look. I struggled with this for so long. And it wasn't until I started implementing a couple key strategies that I'm going to go over here. I have a whole document for where I really start to see a change. And it's frustrating. I get it. So maybe you're kind of like, how the hell do I get them to grow? I'm going to answer that for you here. So, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. I apologize if I sound like shit, but we're going to have some fun with it. So, let's dive right in. All right, so a little bit of a quick backstory. I was always a very tall and scrawny guy. I'm 6'4". When I graduated high school, I was like 175 pounds. When I entered high school, I was about 160 pounds. So I've always struggled with putting on muscle. I'm not genetically, made up to be very muscular by any means. My brother is, and he's very, very big and very strong. I did not get those genes. So I'm not a very strong guy. I will tell you that. I lift, you know, compared to somebody who doesn't work out, I'm very strong. But compared to some of the guys you see on Instagram and things like that, I'm a weak as fuck. So we'll just put it that way. 2014, I was a couple years out of high school at this point, and I ended up getting a really good career going and put on like 45 pounds. I got chubby, and I wasn't just like fat. I was like skinny fat. So when I wore a suit, I looked skinny and it was fine. But you take my shirt off, and I was chubby and soft, and I had very little muscle definition, very little muscle growth. And it was always something I was very insecure about. They'd say, "Oh, no, you're not supposed to care what other people think." And while I didn't necessarily care too much about what other people thought, I cared a lot about what I thought. And when I looked in the mirror, I knew that it wasn't necessarily like an ideal body shape. Like I was like, I would rather look lean and athletic. Why wouldn't I? So I started looking, pretty chubby towards the tail end of 2018. My arm size, this was when I started taking my health and fitness seriously, was roughly 14 and a half inches. Like skinny dude. Like my forearms are like 13 and a half inches. So I look at my forearm, I'm like, man, my whole arm was that skinny. That's crazy. I had like no shoulder development, nothing. So 2019, 2021, I got into a lot of like the cool looking workouts because in high school I was a shot put thrower. We used to do a lot of Olympic lifting, so I fell in love with CrossFit. And I only injured myself a couple times. I actually smacked my head on a barbell once, like trying to do a snatch. Like whack, knocked myself out completely. I have that on video somewhere. But I got into like the Metcons and all of those things. And while those are great for fat loss, and I did end up with a lot of fat, my diet was really on point. Got all the way down to like 188 pounds. I still had very small arms. And I remember being absolutely diced at 188. I got there from 228, by the way. So like I got cut up, and I was like, wow, I don't even look like I work out anymore. I was interviewing somebody for a sales role that I was hiring for, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm like really big in fitness. Like, do you work out?" And I talk about a dagger to the heart, man. I was like, I've been working out for like 3 straight now. She just asked me if I even. So that was a little unfortunate. I will say, everything that I'm about to walk you through, it's very simple stuff, and it honestly is just bringing a little bit more intention to it. Right now, my arms are about 16.75 inches. So, my whole goal right now in 2024 is to get that to 17 plus. It's going to take some time, and right now I'm on a cut, so I'm probably not going to grow all that much. But right after June 3rd, when I walk on stage, we are back in the lab to put some size on my arms. So, put 2 inches on my arms in 2 years. This is still my weak point, but here's a couple principles, and I'll give you an example of what I'm doing right now, which has helped me really, really put on some size. So principles. So number one, multiple sessions per week. I used to do the 1 arm day per week thing. And what I found was by the time I was about 4 or 5 sets in, the bicep is only like, and I have a long arm, right? Like it's only this big. So it's about that long. Okay. That's a small muscle. How many sets can you really take that thing? Before you're just basically doing what's called junk volume, which is like you're not actually growing anything. you're just beating the shit out of it. So I used to do a ton of junk volume. Like I would go in on a Friday and just fuck a whole day was just arms, and they just would never grow. So and now I train them 4 days per week, and that's because I do work out 6 sessions per week. I do 3 days on, 1 days off, every single week. And so it's like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then Monday off, and we rotate, right? So I have a rotating schedule here. And I would just, go in there and slam 20 sets in one day with really light weight. Now I train 4 times per week, and I train with heavy weight. That is one thing that I will say about arm growth is it responds to quality stimulation, not just volume. Okay. Like if I grab a 20-pound dumbbell, I could do 20 something reps and I might get a great burn. It's not going to incite a lot of growth. So pick up heavy things. Also, get a little creative with it. There's everyone's like levers and forearms, your tibia, your humerus, they're all different shapes and sizes. So I found that there's like a couple key angles that I hit where I feel like I ride tension in my bicep way more than like a traditional Arnold curl. I can't remember the last time I sat down on a bench and just did a curl with a dumbbell. Like when I do curls, I like angle my body in a specific way. For the entire repetition, my bicep is firing through tension. So you could try preacher, you could try preacher, you could try cable, barbells. Some guys get really good sensation and really good stimulation with barbells. I really like the easy barbell because I actually get better when my hand is like tuned in, like turned in, and I get more pressure like right here on these pads versus being out on my pinkies. So barbell, dumbbell, you could try hands outside your elbows. You could try hands inside your elbows. I actually get a way better flexion. I don't know what it is, just the mechanics of my body. When I'm out here, like I get a squeeze, but man, even just doing this, like I get such a better, like I ride so much more of my bicep when my hand is actually coming in inside of my elbow. Explain it to me. I don't know. I'm not a biomechanics major. So, but with that being said, I'm always looking to what I call like riding tension. I got that from Big Mike Van Wyck. Great channel, by the way. Go check him out on YouTube. But I like to ride tension, meaning whatever muscle, whether I'm working back, lats, rhomboids, chest, shoulders, I want that muscle to be firing through the entire length of the motion. So what I used to do with biceps is I used to like grab a dumbbell and then I would just kind of like let it dangle and I would lose all the tension in the bicep. Then I would re-engage at the bottom, get all the way to the top and like almost like pick my elbow up. And once I did that, I'm actually on delt, I'm off bicep. And I just would be operating in this extremely long range of motion. So what I did was I found what's my range of motion through which from the top to the bottom is my bicep engaged the entire time. And I'm only on bicep. That was a key for me. I had to start to test things out. Like I don't lock my elbow now at the bottom of a curl, right? Like I get just shy of locking out. So I'm still on bicep. And when I come up, I typically end like, oh man, this is going to be weird, but I typically end like here. I don't go all the way up like this. Because once I'm here, my elbow, especially when I'm using the momentum of the exercise, my elbow starts to move. So I don't really get much more out of that. And now I'm actually on delt. So I found my specific range of motion, okay, where I can ride tension the entire time. So this is an example of what I'm doing now. So I do 2 push days and 2 pull days per week. And I finish on the arms, okay? Finish on the accessory movements. Please, like if you're doing a heavy set of triceps and then going into bench press, stop. I don't really know what else to tell you. So push 1, right? This is just an example. I like to do 5 sets because realistically, after I do a push day or after I do a pull day, my triceps or my biceps have gotten a ton of work anyways. So I don't really need to slam them. And really, after about 5 real hard sets, like, I'm toast, dude. I don't know how guys go in there and they do like 20 sets of arms at a rip. Like, I do anywhere between 11 and 15 sets on like one of the bigger muscle groups, like my back. Like real hard sets where like a lot of times it's more like 11 to 12. Very rarely do I ever even get to the 13 to the 15. But it's like I'm done there with my back. I'm toast. When I go over to my arms, they've gotten a lot of work already. I really don't need that much more. Because if I really kill them to the degree where from one pull day to the next, my bicep doesn't recover, what the hell am I doing? I'm not actually going to get any bigger, anyways. So I like to work through different angles and ranges. So, like for triceps, I always incorporate some sort of overhead. That way I can get a great stretch. I like just traditional push downs with a straight bar because I can just sit there and ride tension all the way through the horseshoe. That's really it, right? Just 5 sets, like just shy of failure. Really fucking heavy, really fucking hard. I push it. I would rather get 5 amazing, high quality, very difficult sets than 10 like half-ass bullshit sets. I'm not going for a burn. I'm going for like just shy of failure. Like I want to be like on my 5th set. By the time I'm getting to rep 8, 9, 10, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is getting tough. But that's really it. You know, dips on the on push 2, single arm cable extensions, just right there, just pushing it down. Like just isolated movements. It's not that complicated. But what I'm going to challenge you, if your arms really aren't growing, you're probably not lifting heavy enough weight. You're probably not training them enough. That's really it. Okay? You're probably not training them enough. You're probably not using heavy enough weight. So these are just my principles. This is just what I'm doing now. It's helped me put 2 inches on my arms. By the way, I compete. So like 6 months out of the year, I'm in a deficit. Right? So realistically, I've only been in like a growth for about a year, which means if I probably just did this for a year straight, I could probably put another inch on my arm in 12 months easily, inch and a half, if I just stopped competing. But who knows? I enjoy competing. Anyways, I hope this is helpful. If it is, and you want some more information on how you can implement these things, just send me a DM on Instagram at Unbreakable Dads. And by the way, I'm running a scholarship for limited time. I only have 10 spots. It's a scholarship into my program, and it's 10 partial scholarships. Excuse me. One guy's going to get a full ride. Your goals have to align with mine. But if you're struggling to lose that like 20 to 40 pounds, you've tried literally everything, and you're just exhausted trying to get fit, and nothing's working. The Unbreakable Dads program is looking to bring on 10 guys in the next 3 weeks by the end of February. All you have to do is DM me the word FAST. I'll ask you a couple questions to see if we're aligned. If we are, I'll invite you onto a call. You can apply, and we can see if we can work together. Helped over 200 guys in the past 2 years drop anywhere between 20 and 50 pounds. Results are guaranteed. I do actually put that in writing. Community's fucking awesome. So if you're looking for a little bit of support, you want to grow your muscles, you want to lose that fat, you want to get that lean athletic build, and you want to do it in a time efficient way that doesn't take away from your family, you're also tired of doing diets where you have to say no to your wife's cooking all the time, just send me a DM. All right? Talk soon.